Absolutely.
I'm excited for this one.
Up. I'm excited. I love it. And I love the purple or the pink sleeves from Krekeler. I love it.
Very fitting. Pink for Gardevoir and gray for Darkrai.
All right, so we're getting in here. And again, these decks just start Seismitoad.
Yeah, we're just going to see a turn 2 Quaking Punch every round for all 9 rounds, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. I love it.
It's going to be crazy.
Absolutely. I love it. This deck, I don't know. Isreal Sosa just knows how to play this game so well. It's crazy. There's a reason why he's won 5 regionals, you know?
And actually, I was going to say something about it, but I'm just not remembering it, seeing it hit the bench. We already have that turn 1 Sudowoodo, so we'll get to kind of see what we talked about earlier, how it can kind of just throw off math, even in the slightest, only having 4 bench. I've actually literally seen multiple times in League Cups here around Florida and local tournaments, people sometimes just forget that it's there, and they'll dump their hand to 0 for a Lele, try to drop that Lele down on the bench, and they can't because they only have 4 bench spots.
Absolutely.
And they're kind of just mindlessly thinking, I normally have 5, I've never really been limited to 4. I may have seen things like Skyfield where I have had up to 8, but it's kind of just different being stuck.
Absolutely. Now I love this this poison marker here with the fuzz from the dice box. It's kind of funny. Let's see.
So we're seeing N right away, so nothing really from Alex, turn 1.
And if he can't get another basic down, that's going to be game over.
Yeah, that's going to be not so great for him. So Alex is going to have to hit something here.
And here's something that I love. We didn't see it in the last Gardevoir list, but we see a Sylveon GX, a 1-1 Sylveon.
I think it's very strong. I like it in Standard a lot, so I can only imagine it being powerful in the expanded format
as well. Absolutely.
So we will see another Ralts come down. So if Isreal can somehow... he's just going to hit that laser, and that's going to be the game 1 right away. Isreal taking...
a speedy game 1.
A steal, that game 1.
I love it. Absolutely.
From Alex. Unfortunately, just drew a dead hand, but... All right.
Which happens. I mean, welcome to Pokemon. Welcome to
card games.
Yeah, welcome to card games. And I guess you just... when you draw hot and your opponent doesn't, you kind of just, that happens.
It happens, unfortunately.
It's crazy. While these players are shuffling up, let's talk about that game a little bit. How about that? Let's see.
Laser Verbank game.
Oh,
that's the game.
That seems kind of good.
Talk a little bit
about...
about...
pretty disgusting.
Oh yeah, very, very strong card.
I can't believe that card was made.
With
Laser is disgusting.
And in combination with Darkrai GX, being able to
absolutely
get him to sleep, take a knockout.
It's cool. I love it. Hopefully we see a better game too. I hate seeing games that go like that.
Yeah, they're unfortunate, but like we said, that's card games.
That's like when Night March was really big, and you would just start a Joltik, and your opponent would go Burbank Laser.
Just
you're
show
just
you
like,
2
all right,
cards,
dude. Yeah,
and
it's
gotta scoop
I guess
up
I'll just go ahead and scoop up to game 2. I hate that. So with Krekeler being behind a game, do you think he's... I mean, they're obviously going to have ample amount of time, but do you think he's going to play a little faster?
Yeah, I definitely think with maybe an increased pace of play, Alex is going to know that he's shaved off an unnecessary 5 minutes almost of the clock just to take a loss, basically.
Right.
So he's going to have to speed up and really try and take these 2 games as quick as possible, because he's going to need to, or maybe draw out this second game for a tie.
Absolutely,
I agree. If he needs to as well, if maybe Isreal is going to go for more of a, not necessarily slow play,
right.
kind of take his time to do things after winning a game 1 to kind of figure it out, where if they do go to a game 3, he's more ready to take on this Gardevoir.
And I'm sure Isreal Sosa's tested this matchup before, so I'm sure he knows what's going to win and how to win the game, basically. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go right back into the game here. Setting up for game 2. I believe they're already shuffled up. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, a mulligan. Okay, there was a mulligan. Two mulligans.
2 mulligans from Isreal Sosa here. So, and he's going second, I would assume.
Oh, man. Yeah, seems rough.
So that's going to be very good for Alex. Hopefully not a dead hand after taking 2 mulligans and a draw for turn.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking.
We got a basic, so we're going to see 2 extra cards going to Alex's hand. And let's get into it.
All right, cool.
No Seismitoad start. Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened. This is our first game here at Daytona Regionals with no Seismitoad starting in the active spot.
And I wouldn't think I would say that in 2017,
No.
I never thought I would say that, but here we are. Daytona
See
Regionals.
Tapu Lele come down. Maybe that same thing we saw
Bridget?
last round. Yep, Bridget. Let's see. 1, 2, and
Did he prize the fourth one?
are we going to go for a fourth one?
Maybe he prized the fourth one?
Nope.
And the Vulpix.
Alolan Vulpix. That's the
which-
card that we talked about last round, but we didn't end
Absolutely.
up getting to see from Brett.
Brett, absolutely.
That's what it was.
This is going to be a little bit more interesting here. Beacon's insane. You have a 0 energy attack, allows you to search for 2 Pokemon and add them to your hand. Not basics, not just anything. Could be any Pokemon.
Yeah, it's definitely a great Pokemon, especially in the game now with more of these Stage 2 decks coming out. You know, being able to search those Stage 2s and rare candy them the following turn, it's super powerful.
Insane, yeah,
and
absolutely.
funny enough, even Alolan Vulpix's second attack can come into effect. Does 20 damage for
damage,
DC. If you got a choice put on there, and
You know,
maybe
you
you're playing
gotta
against
do
some turtles or some Volcanions, you can
Do
get some
100
decent
damage,
damage
yeah,
in with that
seems good.
Vulpix.
I
Funny enough.
never even thought about that, but
I've actually seen it happen multiple times. People taking knockouts on Turtonators in Standard with that Alolan Vulpix choice banded with the DC.
good to know.
So, remember that's the second attack, everyone.
That's actually
You
a
can
thing.
attack with Alolan Vulpix and not search your deck.
Okay, so we just saw Darkrai GX, a new card with that restoration ability, which allows you to grab it from your discard pile and a Dark Energy, attach the Dark Energy to it, and put it onto your bench.
I love that card so
I
much.
think it's really cool. I think that's a cool mechanic that we've added to this game. Like, we've seen it with Propagation where you can add it back to your hand, but I don't think we've ever seen it where you attach the energy and put it on your bench. Like, that just seems really cool to me.
Yeah, I was really excited to see this card get printed because not only in just like dark decks like Speed Darkrai or even this dark box that Sosa's put together here, but you can play it in other decks too, even decks like Gardevoir EX.
yeah, Mega
Gardevoir
Gardevoir.
EX
Yeah.
could play 4 Darkrai GX and 4 eggs, and you can just cycle your bench over and over again for maximum damage if you wanted to play that, or even Rayquaza could play them just
Rayquaza
to
could
guarantee
absolutely do it.
their 8 bench every turn to hit for maximum damage.
Look at this. Krekeler's like, I'm just really good at this game. I'm just going to have turn 2, Candy Gardevoir,
And it looks like we're going to see
a Beacon.
A Beacon.
One big old bacon. That's what I
I'd be
call
surprised
it.
to see double Gardevoir. Oh,
Guardy Lele. Set yourself up. I'm surprised. Are they playing a Skyla in this deck? Yes, there's one Skyla in Krekeler's list. So he can Lele for that Skyla, grab a rare candy, you know?
set up that second Gardevoir.
Absolutely.
But like we saw in the first game, but we didn't really get to see how much it affected him. Sosa's got that Sudowoodo down, so
Yep.
that Lele in his hand is dead.
Just absolutely dead now
And
that
Alex
I think about
Greco's
it.
hand, so he wasn't expecting that even
Oh.
after. Oh, I'm just seeing knockover. All right, we're good.
Seems good.
So we see a battle compressor, dumping some dark energies,
Probably
turn on those dark patches.
Interesting. I want to see how many dark patches this guy's going to play this game, you know? He's already discarded one with an Ultra Ball earlier.
Does play the full 4, so the whole play set. And we're gonna see Verbank Laser, just like we saw in the last game.
Absolutely. Interesting.
Well, let's see what Alex goes here with. So we're gonna see
Another
Rare Candy into
Candy.
Gardevoir.
Yep.
But like we said, with that Sudowoodo coming down, he's not going to be able to drop that Lele, so if he doesn't have another play. But Max Potion on that Alolan Vulpix, so it does not get knocked out coming back into the following turn. And we'll see a Beacon. No energy, search for 2 Pokemon. So we're going to grab a Ralts and a Gallade.
Absolutely. I think Gallade is really, really good in this matchup. You hit for weakness, does 260
I'm honestly
damage.
very surprised that Alex wasn't trying to drop the Gallade sooner,
Right.
but I guess maybe not trying to have Isreal have an easy snipe to take care of right away. Maybe wants to surprise him with it later.
Absolutely. Surprise.
Surprise, guys.
It's a Gallade.
Gallade. Premonition, I'll look at the top 5.
Oh, and it's the Isreal Sosa special. That's Sableye. He's played one Sableye in almost every dark deck that he's played.
It is a very, very good Pokemon. Juncut, super powerful, being able to recycle all of your items in your deck, like VS Seeker, Dark Patch, even cards like Max Elixir. Very strong. He can even grab lasers back if he needs to just keep that poison damage going.
The thing that I love to see from Isreal Sosa is he's also played in every one of his regional winning decks. He's played a dowsing machine instead of computer search in every single one of them. he just favors that card. He just
It's a
likes
very,
getting
very
cards
good
back
card.
from his discard pile. Interesting.
Computer search obviously being able to grab anything a lot better in the early game, but if you draw dowsing in those late game scenarios, it kind of can just win you the game every time.
Absolutely. Grabs you the exact card that you need.
And even we saw last game in that first game that was real quick, we dowsing for game with
With
3
the-
cards in discard?
Yep.
So
For a laser, yeah, for the game.
you never
Interesting.
know when things will come in handy. Sometimes certain cards just treat you better.
Right. I wonder why
We see it.
Scramble Switch isn't like the best card then. No, I'm just kidding.
Groudon.
Yeah, Groudon's good, dude.
Talked about it earlier.
Did he have... Oh, he does, okay. I'm like, does he have a fairy energy? But I see the wonder energy.
So we're going to see that Sableye get taken down, but that is going to make this a 6-prize game for Alex. It's going to be a little difficult. He would have much rather taken out an EX Pokemon for sure to take more prizes, but we'll just see a retreat into that Yveltal EX and going to get some chip
120?
damage in. 120 on this card.
With the laser damage, which should have been 30, should be at 150, right?
I believe so, correct. I believe they have 130 there right now. So we're going to see that Skyla come out. One of copy that you talked about. I'm going to search
Skyla's
for
good.
an Ultra Ball. Lots of cards in Alex's hands, so I'm sure he is... Oh, drop the whole Sylveon line right there
Doesn't
in the
need
discard
it.
pile. Grab another Gardevoir.
Damage.
Probably going to see a rare candy come out after this.
Should be an extra 30 damage, yeah. Or 20 extra, yeah. Because of Burbank. We're going to go ahead and get somebody into the game just to make sure that we have damage correct. Maybe we didn't catch it correctly, or maybe something, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there should be 20 extra damage on that Gardevoir.
I believe so, with that laser at the top of the discard pile. Don't know why that would be there any other way.
I mean, it probably isn't super relevant, but I mean, okay, so that should still be 20 more damage. It should be 160 now. That's right, I'm dumb. There is such thing as resistance.
That's alright. The cards look real small on the screen. We forgot about it.
No, I should know that though. Looks like an in out of Isreal, putting Krekeler to 3.
Yeah, Israel knows that he's going to have to grind back in this one, so and definitely going to shift some momentum if Alex can't seem to draw anything.
Absolutely. All right. Huh. Just a pass. No DCE on that Toad, right? Or am I blind?
No, you're certainly not blind. It was odd to me as well.
Maybe he's just sitting there thinking, I can take a shot.
I just
then-
think Sosa might think that it's not worth it at this point. The Toad would just get one-shotted right back.
Right.
So he really needs to be careful how he approaches this Gardevoir, the active spot.
Absolutely. I love this this gameplay, like the thought that both players put into every move that they make, you know? There's so many energies down in Krekeler's side. He's just like, if you come up with anything, I'm just going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And only one energy to attack with Gardevoir GX is
nuts. Yeah, I
It's
agree.
pretty powerful.
I love it.
Thinking
Let's
about
see.
it, we were just talking earlier, Yveltal EX being one of the strongest cards historically in the game, needed at least 2.
Yeah.
And Gardevoir, I guess maybe being a stage 2 justifies being 1 energy.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, that card is definitely one of the most powerful cards to be printed in a while.
I think so. I think so as well.
And we're going to
Especially
see
with
another
Twilight,
end?
too. Yeah, absolutely.
More ends.
End's the best card in the game, didn't you know?
It is. Especially now without a Versus Seeker, we have to be able to shuffle all of our other supporters away that we might need in Standard.
Absolutely.
And has become very, very powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the fact that Toad can retreat because of Dark Cloak. I love it. I think that's great.
Longtime Darkrai player, and I love that Dark Cloak Darkrai. Every energy's a floatstone.
I don't think I've ever seen you play Darkrai, and I've known you for like 2 years now.
Nah, you've seen me play Darkrai.
I don't think I have.
Plenty of Darkrai.
All right. Did we just see a retreat pass?
We're going to see an Infinite Force. On this
For a
Tapu
bunch of
Lele.
damage.
For a lot of damage with no energy on that Lele. So we'll see how Sosa can deal with these massive Gardevoirs.
Absolutely. He's definitely in an uphill battle right now.
Oh. Most definitely.
All right, we had to pause for just a second, but we do see the Sleep Flip and Quaking Punch. I'm sorry. Quaking Punch.
Quacking Punch. Quack, quack.
Yeah, quack. All right, let's see here.
So, Isreal hoping that Alex doesn't have a way to retreat this turn, but
Oh, man. I
Parallel
love that card.
City putting himself to 3.
So that Sudowoodo's like, it doesn't matter. Like, that Sudowoodo was never like a massive card, I guess, in this matchup. And the Lele's Awake. I don't know if that matters as much. Ooh, I love this card. Dark Patch, insane.
One of my favorite cards for sure, just being able to recycle those dark energies out of the discard pile. And another N.
Sounds
Gonna
good.
See it 3 turns in a row from
Ready.
Isreal.
Card's good.
Card is very strong.
Especially when your opponent's only drawing 3 cards, you know?
And you're drawing
Drawing
5.
5, yeah. Like, anytime you can have more cards in your... Like I said last game, the more times that you can have more cards in your hand than your opponent is probably a good time, right?
Most definitely. Especially here, Isreal needs to hit something to keep his momentum going. He's got many big threats. And just like that, we're going to see that Gardevoir come right back up into the active spot. No damage on it. Taking a knockout on Darkrai
Isn't
GX
that
with
crazy?
just 1 energy on
That's
it.
insane.
No Gallade needed here.
Yeah, he's just like, what Gallade? Krekeler definitely knows how to play this matchup as well, it seems. Or just the deck in general.
So it looks like missing that sleep on
Is
the
gonna go
laser
ahead
is going to
and-
make it Isreal just go to a game 3. So we'll break here for a second and talk about that game 2.
Absolutely. I just feel like, you know, you're always going to be on the back foot as the dark player with the resistance style that I realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the Gardevoir puts a lot of energy down, but it's doing more damage than your Yveltals will do every time.
Yeah, Isreal needs to be really careful how he approaches this. Maybe taking knockouts on Ralts and Corellias before he can get to Gardevoirs, just
Yeah.
to keep him, you know, in the race. Because once those Gardevoirs hit the field, a lot of prizes are going to be taken very, very
Absolutely.
quickly if they're not dealt with properly.
Absolutely. I think what we need to see here is, like we've seen in 3 prior games, we need to see a Seismitoad start. Laser also helps with math in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a better game, because that also seemed kind of one-sided to me.
I definitely think a turn 2 Quaking Punch for Isreal Sosa is going to put him in a good position. I think
Seems good, yeah.
almost any other way, it's going to be too slow. I think that's a strategy he needs to shoot for in this game 3.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if Israel Sosa plays a Getsus. Does he play a Getsus in his list?
He does. He plays 1.
Okay. So Getsus turn 1 into a Quaking Punch turn 2 seems kind of good, you know?
Put all those items back,
And then you can't ever
and then you
play
can't
him.
play him, and I'll
Yeah.
draw cards for all of those.
Sounds good to me. I think that might be a thing that he needs to play to. Again, with this Gardevoir list, only 2 Curlia, 4 rare candies. That's an item card. If you can toad them and they don't draw their Curlias, you're
Yeah.
kind of just in the driver's seat at that point.
Turning
So
those
it's-
rare candies off in the Gardevoir deck decreases the power and speed of it so much. Turn 2 Gardevoir GX is definitely,
Is insane. It's probably the scariest thing that you could see.
especially if you get 2 of them out or 3 even. Secret Spring attach. You can hit numbers like 200
Oh, just
Almost on
in
turn
like a
2.
turn, yeah.
for a 1 energy attack.
All right, well, here we see that Eevee that I was talking about.
Maybe we'll see some Sylveons.
Maybe we'll see a Sylveon this game. Sylveon seems kind of cool, you know? You get to search for 3 cards in your deck and add them to
Any
your
3
hand.
cards.
You don't have to show your opponent, so they could just be anything.
I
You
can
know?
force you to end.
Yep, every time.
Magical Ribbon. So,
And there's
like
that-
we said, that Seismitoad EX in a drop down turn 1 for Isreal Sosa. He knows he needs it.
I think it's necessary for this matchup because you have to shut off anything that your opponent's doing at this point.
So one thing Alex knows now, seeing that Seismitoad on the bench, he will have one turn of items at least, so he needs to make the most of what he can. See an Ultra Ball, probably going to grab a Tapu Lele GX. Yep, right there, we'll see that Tapu Lele hit the bench. That ability, going to grab Bridget, and like we've seen before with both of these rounds, Gardevoir decks, it's almost the same turn one every time if they have it. We're going to get 2 Ralts and that Alolan Vulpix.
I love it. I love this beacon attack, especially in this matchup where if you're getting Quaking Punched, you can at least get your Curlias into your hand.
What I would love to see here is see Alex actually, or what I would have loved to see, he's already passed the turn unfortunately, is him have that energy for that Sylveon GX.
Yeah.
To be able to search for 3 cards, to be able to deal with the turn 2 Quaking Punch, if Isreal Sosa did happen to have it, to force him to end, make it a little bit harder, but we'll see that hard evolve that's in his hand.
Yeah.
Fairy Energy down on Sylveon. We're going to see a Magical Ribbon search his deck for any 3 cards, put him in his hand, doesn't have to show his opponent like we said earlier with teammates. Works the exact same way. You just throw them in your hand so your opponent has no idea what's coming to you.
And you just draw a pass.
Isreal, unfortunately, seeing a hand like Alex saw in the first game, not being able to draw too much. And it seems like it's the exact opposite for Alex this game. We're just drawing crazy amounts of cards. We're going to see a Sycamore. Already have 1 Gardevoir down. Wouldn't be too surprised to see another one coming down this turn as well.
If he has the candy. Because he's already evolved the Curlia.
Parallel City on Sosa, so not even a Wonder Tag or Shaman is going to be able to save him from this dead hand he has right now.
And then, again, just going to that Magical Ribbon. Searching
him up for any 3 cards. He's just going to set up his board to a point where Isreal will just have almost no way to deal with it.
Laser for
see
heads.
A laser heads.
Hey.
We're going to put that Sylveon to sleep. And
Tails.
Still asleep.
Do we have a... Oh my gosh.
3 Gardevoir GX.
This is ridiculous. Well, I mean, obviously with Magical Ribbon, he's going to get it, but it's still surprising to see nonetheless, you know? Oh, double.
We're just going to see triple Secret Spring attached, double colorless return versus Seeker for Sycamore. Drawing 7 new cards.
And this is exactly what I was saying. This Yveltal deck, when it gets behind against Gardevoir, there's no coming back. Once Gardevoir has like 3 energy
and a Sycamore
on
off the top for Isreal.
It's Isreal Sosa. What are we talking about? What am I saying?
So maybe we have a game in our hands. Alex already has a lot of energies on those Gardevoirs, so Yveltal EX's attack is definitely not going to do nothing. It's going to be something that Alex has to think about. If he overextends too much on one Gardevoir, Isreal can hit him back for a lot of damage with Evil Ball.
Absolutely.
So we see a Battle Compressor throwing away a Getsis Dark Red GX and a Dark Energy, dropping another Battle Compressor right away.
Dropping a Guzma, Toad.
I think at this point Isreal's just trying to drop any cards that he does not want to see whatsoever off of a Sycamore in future turns or even an N. He wants to be able to draw the cards he needs to keep himself in this game.
Now it's interesting what we're going to see here. Yeah, I was thinking maybe he just goes for Quaking Punch. It seems kind of good here. Quaking Punch is pretty good.
And Silent Lab.
Ooh, Silent. Oh, if you would have had that early.
That would have been very strong. No Lele.
Turn 1 seems good, man.
Acerola.
Acerola, there's that card again.
And that Seismitoad might not be able to live past this turn. That Fighting Fury Belt's going to keep it a little bit of arm's reach, but I feel like Alex has the energy. Going to go ahead and Secret Spring that down. Infinite Force for the knockout. Let's see what Isreal can draw here. See a double colorless energy and an N. So not too bad of a response.
This energy drop is going to do 160.
160. We can get 190 if we hit Choice Band.
Yeah, 190. And guess what that does?
Not knockout.
Not enough.
Not enough damage.
But maybe that's what...
Funny enough, Sosa actually doesn't play any Choice Band.
Fury Belts?
He plays 3 Fighting Fury Belt, and then he's got obviously those 4 Hypnotoxic Blazers and 2 Verbanks to keep extra damage rolling each turn.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep, there's another one of those lasers. We'll see. It's going to be a Tails, though.
Unfortunately. But, I mean, we're still doing 160 damage. You know, that's still nothing
It's
to cough
something.
at. You know, like, that's good.
Oh, and these
But
Gardevoirs.
Krekeler's just like, I have infinite energy for infinite days.
I have infinite energy for infinite days to infinite force.
Hey, that's right. It's interesting. I want to see if there's a way that Isreal can actually come out of this.
It doesn't look too good for him. I never want to count anyone out because, like we said earlier,
This is Pokemon.
there are card games. This is Pokemon. Anything can happen, but right now I can say for sure that this is definitely not in Israel's favor. I think maybe what he's hoping for at this point is he can hit enough dark patches to get those dark energies out of his discard pile and blow it up in a Veltal. But even if he deals with one of those Gardevoirs, there's just another one on the bench. It's really, really just not a good spot for him. There's not a whole lot he can do about it.
Oh. Now, here's a cool thing that I forgot about because what does he give Veltal? He can use that second attack, Y-Cyclone, take a knockout, move his DCE that he has in his hand back to the bench Yveltal, and he has a Dark Patch in his hand. So it's eliminating 2 energy off of his active so that it'll make Alex have to have more energy and have to draw into more energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
Or make
know.
him dig for that supporter card like Guzma.
Right.
Like
have to
that.
get another card, right.
So we're going to see a Dark Patch here going on the Sableye. So
His favorite
like you
card?
said earlier, yep,
That's his
Israel
favorite
Sosa
card,
loves his Sableye.
And his dowsing machine. See, there it is. Look at that.
Maybe going to dowsing for another Dark Patch here.
He has to show it, yeah, because it's from his discard pile. It's public knowledge. Whenever it's public knowledge, you have to show it.
We're going to see, and we're actually going to see that DC go down onto that bench Veltal, but we saw a Floatstone get attached to the active. Maybe
He's hoping for a Dark Patch.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he's going to come up and Junk Hunt. Maybe that's the
potentially,
thing.
maybe he's just trying to secure that Junk Hunt play for sure if he doesn't hit what he needs to take a Y-Cycle and
I think I saw a Dark Patch. No? Just kidding. Oh, he's going for the Confuse. Huh.
Very interesting. That put Alex in a sticky situation. We're going to see a Skyla come down, searching for a Versus Seeker. Maybe just to say, hey, next turn, I've got Guzman to deal with this, so you better have something.
You better have everything, basically.
Yeah.
But we're also, hopefully, after taking a knockout here, we're going to see an N, I hope, right? Because then an N puts Alex down to 1 card and not a way to knock out this Yveltal.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to grab that Darkrai EX.
Yeah, I think that card's really good. That's a definitely one of the a crowd favorite. It's a very old card.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's been around for years, you know? For as long as I've been playing, that card's been a thing.
The ability, being able to just retreat for free with any Pokemon that has a Dark Energy attached to it, and Night Spear being a very powerful attack, 90 to the active, 30 to any bench Pokemon, can set up numbers and apply pressure to not only the active Pokemon, but also their bench Pokemon to kind of soften them up.
Absolutely. Now, this is where we see Isreal Sosa stage a comeback. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Hitting your opponent to 1 is a way to do that.
Oh, we have seen him do it. Let's see if we can do it again.
Absolutely. Now, Alex Krekeler draws for his turn, and then Infinite Forces for the knockout, unfortunately. All right. We'll be right back with a player interview.